So hey guys, and thanks for joining me for another video of the Random Watch Dude. As you can see, it's a really hot sunny day here. It's the middle of winter here in Auckland, New Zealand, but it's absolutely cooking down here in my garden. I've got my sun hat on, as you can see, and today I thought I'd come out here and make a quick video for you, and I just wanted to talk to you basically about rotation and the size of the ideal size of watch rotation for a watch collector. So stick with me guys, I'm just going to play my new intro and then we'll get into it. Yeah, okay guys, so ideal rotation size, and of course I'm talking to a lot of you guys out there that have got huge collections. You know, some of you have got collections that are 10, 15, 20 watches. Some of you, you know, I've got a few guys in the comments that have said you've got 150, 200 watches. Hey, hats off to you guys. I don't know how you do it, I really don't. Today guys, I'm wearing two watches, and I've got my, on the right wrist here, I've got my Rolex GMT Master 2. The Riddler, and on my left wrist I've got my Tudor Pelagos FXD. During the course of this video I will actually just interrupt what I'm saying by putting in some nice macro shots of these two watches so that you can see what they actually look like. Just a little extra for you there that I'm going to try and add into some of my videos going forward. But yeah guys, the important thing of course with your rotation is to make sure that you actually enjoy all of your watches. Now I've got less than 10 watches, and even that's a struggle for me because I really want to wear all my watches guys. I spend quite a decent amount of my disposable income on the watch hobby, and I want to make sure that I get maximum benefit out of that. I don't buy watches to just put them in a safe, and I certainly don't buy watches to just pull them out every now and then, have a quick look and a quick ogle, take a quick wrist shot and then put it back in the safe. Now I want to wear it, I want to get out, I want to wear it on holiday, I want to wear it swimming, I want to wear it when I'm out on my kayak. So I've got a collection of less than 10 watches guys. I tend to wear two watches during a 24-hour period. I don't like my watches to spend a long time in the safe. And before I kind of jump into the whole, you know, rotation side of things, I think it's probably a good idea for me to just tick off a little, I guess, you know, a little subject with regards to watch winders, because I know some of you have got watch winders. You know, watch winders is quite a decent sized industry, I think. There's a lot of companies out there that make really good watch winders. I've got no problem with watch winders, guys. I've got no issue with them at all. I think if you want to put 3 or 4 watches into a winder and just have them running all the time, I think that's absolutely fine. I saw a video quite recently, I saw a link to a video where a watchmaker was asked, would you put your watches on a watch winder? And he said, maybe rather sarcastically, he said, would you leave your car running on the driveway when you're not actually driving it? Well, of course the answer to that is no, because it consumes petrol. Is it doing the car any damage? Well, no, not really, because cars, like any modern engine, are designed to run pretty much 24/7. In fact, some cars, some trucks do. Watches, this is the way I see it, guys. Watch winders are fine if you get the right winder and you're not over winding your watch during a 24-hour period, because that can happen. As long as you've got the winder set correctly, there is nothing wrong with having your watch running on a winder 24/7. Nothing wrong with it at all. And I'll give you the reason why. And I think why the watch winders comment about leaving your car running on the driveway was a little bit, it was irrelevant. I think it was a moot point. I don't think it was relevant to the wristwatch mechanism, because wristwatches are designed to run 24/7, 365 days a year. Rolex and Omega, as an example, will tell you that you only need to get your watches serviced every 10 years, and that's based on the fact that they expect you to be wearing it 24/7. So the fact that you're not, yes, it might extend the life of the watch, and I'll come on to that subject in a minute, but actually it's not going to reduce the life of your watch. And I'll give you another thing to think about, guys, is we've all driven cars, let's say, and I'm going to use the car analogy. We've all driven cars that have done, you know, got 200k on the clock. They look all beaten up, but they've been fully serviced. Let's say it's a fleet car. It's been fully serviced. Every 10,000 k's, it's had its service. It's had the tyres done when the tyres need doing. It's had the brakes checked. It's had the oil changed. Every 6 months as per the manufacturer's specification. Those cars, guys, they go on forever, don't they? And I've driven some of those cars that have got 200, 300, 400k on the clock, particularly the old Japanese Toyotas and Hondas. They just keep going. They don't stop. They keep going. As long as you look after them, they keep going, irrespective of how many Ks they've got on the clock. Whereas I've driven some cars that have been thrashed and badly serviced, and they've done half as many Ks, and they're shagged. I mean, honestly, guys, these are rough cars. They drive badly because they've been driven badly. And this is my point here that I'm trying to make is, you know, the car running on the driveway analogy is false, because as long as you service it, maintain it, look after it, it is designed to run 24/7. So getting back to the watch winder subject, guys, no problem with watch winders. Go for it. If you want to get yourself a nice watch winder and put your 3 or 4 watches on it, my recommendation is, yep, absolutely 100% go for it. It's not going to harm the watch as long as you keep it serviced and maintained and look after it. Anyway, the 2 watch rotation, guys, and I don't normally wear 2 watches, but I am just wearing these 2 watches because just to show you for this video, because these are the 2 watches that I'm actually wearing today. Okay, so the reason I have landed on the 2 watch rotation, guys, is quite simple. Is because I found over a few years, really, of wearing watches for certain periods of time through the day, that my watch, say this watch, will stay charged, because of course it's an automatic movement. You have to be rotating the watch so that it actually spins the movement, keeps the mechanism charged. And of course, what I found over a period of a long time is that about 8 hours, for me, about 8 hours a day wear will keep a watch pretty much fully charged. I've worn a watch for 8 hours a day over a week, let's say, put it down, and after about 40 hours, it's exhausted. And that's with a movement that's got to say a 40-hour power reserve. So for me, wearing a wristwatch, an automatic wristwatch, for 8 hours per day is long enough to keep the watch fully charged. So for that reason, I'm awake, guys. I'm awake for about 16 hours a day. Actually, I do like about 10 hours sleep if I can. So let's say I'm awake for about 14 hours a day. If I wear 2 watches, guys, if I wear these 2 watches roughly evenly through the course of my waking hours, then both of these watches will stay fully charged. I don't need to worry about a watch winder. And I can wear these watches quite happily, knowing that they are both fully charged. And the way I do that is I'll put on one watch first thing in the morning. Let's say this morning I put on the FXD Pelagos. This watch will stay on my wrist until just after lunch. And then just after lunch I'll put on the GMT Master 2 until bedtime. So by having the 2 watches, guys, by having the 2 watches for roughly 8 hours a day each, what I've got there is maximum enjoyment out of these 2 watches, because they're both getting plenty of wrist action. I'm not over worried about the watches that are still in the safe. I might have 3 or 4 watches in the safe that have run down, but that's fine, because I'll wear these 2 watches for usually between 1 to 2 weeks. And then after 1 to 2 weeks, I'll take them both off, I'll put them both in the safe, let them run down, and I'll get 2 other watches out, and I'll start that whole rotation again, 8 hours a day for each for 1 to 2 weeks. So that's kind of how my rotation operates, guys. It gives me a really nice amount of time with each of these watches, because they deserve a lot of wrist time. It gives me a nice amount of time with these watches. And the good thing about leaving them in the safe then for a week or two is by the time you get round to that sort of that moment in time where you're starting to think to yourself, oh, do you know what, I miss wearing my GMT Master 2. I think I'm ready to put it back in the rotation. That's great. That's great. It means you've not got bored of that watch. You've put it away just in time before you start to get a bit fed up with it. And just at the point, where you've been wearing your Tudor FXD in the rotation and you're ready to take that out of rotation and put it in the safe, you're really excited about the next watch that you can put back on your wrist and enjoy it for another week or two. So that works really well for me. I don't think, having tried wearing 3 or 4 watches in rotation, I don't think that's for me. I actually found myself getting a little bit anxious about the time and how many hours that watch has been on my wrist, and I don't have to worry about that with 2 watches. And finally, guys, it wouldn't be a discussion about rotation if we didn't talk about bedtime. And does it count? Does wearing your watch to bed count? Now, on average, I probably wear one of my wristwatches to bed, to sleep, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, maybe sometimes. And I don't even know why actually I choose sometimes to wear a watch to bed. There's no particular reason for it. Sometimes I'm just maybe so in love with my watch that I want to take it to bed and sleep with it. I don't tend to wake up during the night, so I don't frequently need to see what the time is, and if I did, guys, I'd be wearing either one of these because the lume on these is fantastic. But I do sometimes wear a watch throughout the night when I'm asleep. It's getting absolutely no charge whatsoever out of that. There's no benefit to it other than if I did happen to wake up in the middle of the night, I'd be able to see what the time was without lighting up the whole room by flicking on my phone to see what the time is. But yeah, guys, there's no issue, of course, with wearing your watch to bed, is there? There's no issue with wearing the same watch literally 24 hours a day. No issue at all. It's not doing it any harm, and nor is putting your watch on a watch winder. So guys, that's the end of the video. Let me know what you think. How many watches do you on average wear during the day? How does that work for you? How many hours do you find is the minimum that you can wear your watch before it starts to run down? I think a lot of you are going to be like me. You probably wear either 1 or 2 watches a day. So let me know what you think, guys, about this whole subject, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Cheers.